Let's get started with our first news. Ilia Topuria receives major backlash. After Ilia announced that he was stepping away for personal issues, a lot has happened that is causing a huge reaction from MMA fans. Recently, Ilia's brother posted a video of them celebrating, and you can see Ilia dancing and having a good time. Then, this morning, he tweeted at Paddy, telling him to win his next fight, and even shared a video of a young kid that looks like Paddy. He wrote, "Paddy, win your next fight. Hands up, chin down, and arm in this dance is for you." Fans did not take this lightly. Many feel that Ilia should be focusing on his personal matters instead of posting videos and memes online. The MMA community was quick to voice their opinions. Some said he's clearly struggling with his divorce. Others think the only reason he's out is to avoid fighting Arman. Fans commented that he knows how to alienate his real supporters at every chance he gets. "You just sat out," one fan wrote. "Worry about that while the men fight. Paddy is living rent-free in your mind while you're scared to fight Arman and Sukian. Busy trash-talking on the internet, Lumeo." Another fan said, "Bro, you don't get to make memes. Get back in the gym and get ready for Q2 2026. People also pointed out the irony of Ilia claiming he needs to focus on his children. "LP, we're getting an interim belt because this guy was heartbroken by his wife. Talk about setting the bar low for champs." Some tried to be supportive, but still critical, saying, "You sound like you're really going through it, bro. I'm praying for you." Fans highlighted how inconsistent his actions seem. "Weren't you just going through difficult times, lol? What are you doing here? Enjoy Dana privilege while you can, lol," one fan commented. Overall, the backlash against Ilia is intense as the community feels he should be handling his personal matters privately rather than entertaining the internet and sending mixed messages while his fellow fighters stay active and focused. The reactions show that the MMA world is paying close attention, and Ilia's decisions are under heavy scrutiny from fans and peers alike. Move on to another news. Lerone Murphy reveals he fell out of love with fighting after being passed over for a title shot. Murphy is deeply frustrated after the UFC announced the rematch between Volkanovski and Lopez 2, despite undefeated contenders like Murphy and Mavzar Yavoy waiting for their chance. Murphy had appeared to be on track for a fight with Volkanovski after knocking out Aaron Pico at UFC 319, and Volkanovski himself had hinted that their matchup was next. Instead, the UFC opted for the rematch, leaving Murphy understandably confused and disappointed. In a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, Murphy opened up about how the decision affected him. He revealed that he had actually fallen out of love with fighting for a while after hearing he wouldn't get the title shot. "Yeah, you know what? When I first found out, I didn't even do anything. I fell out of love with it for a bit. I'm not going to lie," Murphy said. He explained that he got into MMA over boxing because he believed it was less political, thinking it was about working hard and letting the best fighter win. "That's what hurt me the most," he admitted. Murphy, however, didn't stay down for long. He acknowledged that it's all part of the business and decided to refocus on what he can control. "At the end of the day, you just get over it. It is what it is. It's business. Just keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing, keep winning, and we'll get there eventually," he said. He remains confident that becoming champion is inevitable, but the only thing that truly bothers him is missing the opportunity to fight Volkanovski. Since signing with the UFC in 2019, Murphy has had his eyes set on Volkanovski. "My goal has always been Volkanovski. The last 6 years I've been training with that in mind. Even though he got beat by Topuria, my aim's been to reach his level and face him," Murphy explained. He emphasized that his motivation isn't about the money or other distractions. It's purely about the chance to compete against Volkanovski and prove himself. "I want to fight Volkanovski. I want to say I beat Volkanovski. That's it," he added. Murphy's honesty and passion show just how much fighters invest in their goals and dreams. Despite the setbacks, his determination to reach the top and challenge Volkanovski remains unwavering, proving that true athletes never lose sight of their ultimate ambitions. Move on to another news. Ariel Helwani gets heated with Kamaru Usman, and Usman has escalated the situation. Recently, Ariel stated that he doesn't think Usman deserves the next welterweight title shot, and Usman responded on the Pound for Pound podcast. A person that will not be named on the show, but I guarantee you, they could probably smell us from here. Damn. Well, let's talk big nose. Come on. They can smell us from here, Usman said. He continued, but listen, why would we as professional fighters go on these shows with people who don't have G14 classification? If you're not great, I don't want you speaking on my greatness. Don't start talking about he's not this, he's not that, because it's unauthentic. I have G14 classification. Unless he's averaging 285, I don't see him as a dominant big man. Why would I be sitting there talking to you? You're just a glorified fan. Usman explained that real journalists have meaningful conversations with fighters before fights, then write about it, unlike media personalities who give opinions just to stay relevant. You talk about me to stay relevant. I don't talk about you. I don't care about you. You've been in the headlines, and it's a matter of respect too. I would take it as, all right, man, I'm the big dog. I'm the sheriff in town. That's why they are talking about me, because I am the big dog. I am the name. Usman also posted on X, referring to Ariel. They were never qualified. That's why they're no longer invited to the events. Ariel fired back, revealing he hasn't applied for media credentials at UFC events since 2020, and doubled down on his stance that Usman doesn't deserve the title shot. Ariel said, "This is the same old playbook, especially from the ones who have no creativity and aren't able to think on their own with any kind of good trash talk. It's always big noses, and it's always he can't get invited to events. They've been in the fight game long enough to know you apply for a credential, and then they say yes or no. They're just trying to hit me below the belt, even though I haven't applied since March 2020. The pandemic hit, and I was supposed to go to the Leon-Nate Diaz fight, my last show at ESPN, then I left. But they go to the same two things because they think it works." He says, "I don't care about your thoughts," yet he's making a video, clipping it and tweeting about it. Clearly, I struck a nerve. I had the audacity to say someone who hasn't won more than 2 fights since 2021 doesn't deserve a title shot. I didn't say he's a bum or one of the worst champions. I didn't make it personal. He's talking about my nose, which I've heard about since I was a kid and I lean into it. Tony. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall vows to make a big change when he returns after recovering from the injury he suffered at UFC 321. Despite the severity of the injury, Aspinall has been facing backlash from parts of the MMA community following his first undisputed title fight last month. The way the fight unfolded has sparked criticism, and coupled with his experiences dealing with Cyril Gane and even UFC President Dana White after the incident, Aspinall says he's done being polite and humble. When he makes his comeback, Aspinall plans to fully embrace the role of the bad guy. "When I come back, there is no more Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Tom is gone. When it comes to here, mate, he's gone, and I'm going full bad guy," Aspinall said. He wants to reinvent his image and shed the polite, reserved persona he's been known for, aiming to dominate not only inside the octagon, but also with his presence and attitude outside of it. Aspinall has made it clear that this transformation isn't just for show. He's taking the criticism personally and using it as fuel to improve his mental game and performance. The backlash and smear campaigns that have surrounded him after UFC 321, including interactions with Dana White, have motivated him to show a different side of his character. This new mindset is about confidence, aggression, and showing fans that he's a fighter who can command attention both in fights and in the media. He believes that by embracing this bad guy persona, he can fully control the narrative around his career and focus on what matters most, winning fights and becoming a champion. "I've learned from everything that's happened. It's made me stronger, sharper, and more determined. The goal is clear, and I'm not letting anyone's opinion or criticism hold me back. I'm here to win, and I'm here to make a statement when I return," Aspinall added. Fans can expect a more assertive, confident, and unapologetic version of Tom Aspinall in his next fights. His comeback is not just about returning from injury, it's about evolving into a fighter who can dominate mentally and physically, commanding respect and attention in every aspect of his career. Aspinall's vow to change demonstrates that setbacks and criticism can be powerful motivators for reinvention, and the MMA world is about to see a bold, fearless version of a fighter who refuses to stay in the shadows. Move on to another news. Din Thomas thinks Alexander Volkanovski is in a no-win situation ahead of UFC 324, where he is set to rematch Diego Lopes. Thomas explained that either Lone Murphy or Mo Zarvoy should have received the title shot instead, suggesting that the matchup is more about entertainment than merit. In an interview with MMA Junkie, Din said, "I think Volk is in a no-win situation here. In a way, he's trapped because if he wins, it's like, hey, you just beat this guy last year, and there are two other guys who deserved it more than he does." Din emphasized that Lone Murphy has earned the title shot. Lone Murphy, to me, deserves a shot at the title. He's done everything the UFC's asked of him, but he doesn't scream entertainment. Diego Lopes does. And in terms of flipping a fight one week, another numbered event the next week, you have to go with a guy who's going to sell. It's important for Paramount to get off to a strong start and attract more viewers. Honestly, it's better for the sport itself to have this fight, as opposed to the meritocracy of Lone Murphy, because he deserves it. Thomas also pointed out the stakes for Volkanovski. If he loses, this might be it for him. He's a Hall of Famer. But if he wins, he's going to continue fighting the next challenger, whoever that is. At 37 and already talking about retirement, it's not as simple as a 34-year-old Volkanovski fighting Diego Lopes. A 34-year-old Volk beats Diego 99 times out of 100, but a 37-year-old? It's not that many. I think Diego gets him this time. The analysis shows that Volkanovski is in a delicate position, balancing his legacy, age, and the UFC's business decisions. Winning might keep him going, but a loss could signal the end of an era for one of the sport's most respected champions. The matchup with Diego Lopes is high stakes not only for the welterweight title, but also for Volkanovski's career trajectory and the UFC's promotional strategy. Din Thomas's perspective highlights the tension between merit and marketability in MMA. While Lone Murphy has earned his shot based on performance and consistency, the UFC often prioritizes fighters who draw attention and sell fights, like Diego Lopes. Volkanovski faces pressure from both sides. The expectation to defend his title successfully and the uncertainty of facing an entertaining challenger in a rematch that may define the final chapter of his career. Fans are watching closely, knowing that this fight could have lasting implications for the division and Volkanovski's legacy. Move on to another news. Arman posts a striking picture of fighting Dana White, and it's causing a stir on social media. Recently, Arman shared a playful mock-up poster featuring himself and UFC President Dana White, imagining a showdown between the two. The post is clearly tongue-in-cheek, but it immediately grabbed the attention of fans who couldn't get enough of the bold concept. Arman also reposted the image on his Instagram, giving his followers a closer look at the poster and sparking both excitement and humor. The poster itself is visually striking, portraying Arman in fighting stance opposite Dana White, who's depicted with exaggerated features for comic effect. The mock fight scenario is obviously not real, but fans quickly jumped into the conversation, leaving comments praising Arman's confidence and his willingness to engage in lighthearted antics outside the octagon. The post highlights Arman's playful personality and shows a side of him that fans don't usually get to see, his ability to connect with the audience in unexpected and entertaining ways. Social media reactions were overwhelmingly positive, with many praising Arman for his creativity and sense of humor. "Only Arman would do this," one fan commented, while another added, "This is pure gold. Can't stop laughing." The post also sparked playful debates about how the hypothetical matchup would go, with fans joking about who would come out on top if this imaginary fight ever became real. Even though everyone knows it's just a joke, the engagement it created demonstrates Arman's influence and reach in the MMA world, both as a fighter and as a personality. Beyond the laughs, the post underscores a growing trend among fighters who use social media to engage directly with fans and build their personal brands. Arman's post is a perfect example of this, blending humor, self-promotion, and fan interaction in one creative package. By imagining a fight against Dana White, he not only grabs attention, but also reminds fans of his bold, fearless character, both inside and outside the octagon. This playful stunt also reinforces that Arman isn't afraid to take risks when it comes to marketing himself and staying relevant in the highly competitive world of MMA. Whether joking about facing the UFC president or sharing moments from training and fights, Arman continues to showcase his personality in ways that keep fans engaged and entertained. His post is a reminder that in the world of MMA, a fighter's persona can be just as impactful as their performance in the cage, and Arman is mastering that balance with every social media move he makes. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall recently released footage from a visit to an eye specialist, giving fans a rare look at the seriousness of his recovery. During the appointment, he was advised not to fight until his double vision fully resolves, highlighting the caution being taken with his health. In the video, the specialist guides Tom through tracking exercises, explaining the challenges he is facing. "Follow the light all the way down," the doctor instructs. "I'm trying. I know it's slow," Tom responds, showing his determination to push through the rehab despite the difficulties. The specialist points out the disparities in eye movement, explaining, "It's still 1, but if you move it a centimeter that way, now it's 2. So it's extreme gaze. It's very obvious. When he's looking up and in, the left eye is going up and in extremely well. The right eye is kind of stopping. You see how the right eye is just not as high as the left, and it's not turning to the left as much. That's a restriction. The eye wants to move. But the more I do this, the more he's going to start feeling aching in the upper inner aspect." The doctor emphasizes the risks of rushing back into sparring or a fight. If you're in a fight situation, you're not going to want to deal with the ache in the eye, and you also don't want double vision. What you're going to do is tilt your head, and that's not ideal in the cage. Tom asks, "So, how long till I can train properly? Spar?" The specialist responds with a guarded prognosis. "It's a long road ahead. I would recommend that you do not fight until your double vision is fully resolved for 2 reasons. 1, it could potentially make things worse and set you back even further. 2, if you train while still experiencing double vision, especially in the periphery, you won't be at your peak." The conversation underscores how serious and meticulous the recovery process must be, prioritizing Tom's long-term health over immediate competition. It also shows his commitment and patience, understanding that rushing back could compromise both his performance and safety. Even Sean Ali expressed sympathy for Tom's situation, acknowledging the difficulty of dealing with such a setback while being an elite fighter. This footage provides fans with a glimpse into the rehabilitation process of a top-tier athlete and the challenges that come with injuries that affect not just physical strength, but critical senses like vision. Tom Aspinall's careful approach highlights the importance of health and strategy in the fight game, proving that recovery is just as crucial as training in the pursuit of championship-level performance.